I truly believe that if you are able to develop more self-compassion, you will be able to do anything you want in this life. Because with true self-love, you will be unstoppable. No doubt about it. I can tell you that without having a deep inner sense of self-compassion that I developed, even at the times where it was super counterintuitive, where I kind of was hating the way I looked in the mirror, I had to tap into that knowing that I was enough, that I was capable, that I was able to take things to that next level and change my life the way that I wanted to. We live in a world where we listen to the opinions of so many people. We oftentimes live our lives to make other people happy, and we forget about ourselves. We can't do that. We have got to be true to our own condition. We've got to love our dimension. And with that love, we are unstoppable. There's so many ways that we need to evolve as human beings. But if we cannot take care of our own condition, how can we expect to change the world around us? So this is the reason why self-compassion is so important to think about, especially if we want to really change our own life in a meaningful way. Most of the time when we hit the wall, mentally or physically, we find ourselves in a sense of despair. We find ourselves unhappy. We find ourselves looking in the mirror and hating ourselves oftentimes and feeling just defeated. And when we look around, we tend to unconsciously develop confirmation bias, right? So we start to think of ourselves as this person who can't take care of themselves, who has food addiction or drug and alcohol addiction, and that we just look terrible and we can't do things right. All of these negative thoughts. And then we look outside of ourselves for people and the way they treat us, and we confirm these ideas, right? So we just keep compiling more and more of this sort of self-hate and shame on ourselves. And it's actually the last thing we need to be doing if we really want to change. We actually need to turn inside and start to understand that we're okay right now. That not only are we okay, but we're all unique, beautiful beings, and we have something special to offer the world. That actually life itself, just waking up and breathing and being here, is a gift. It's a gift, and we're special. In traditional Tibetan Buddhism, it's actually considered that the human birth is a really special karma to have. It's very hard to become a human, it's considered. So we should always consider that our life is super precious, and we have to start by taking our own life as something precious before we consider really caring for everywhere around us. Oftentimes when we see a problem, we really think of the problem first, and we try to approach it from the point of view of the problem, right? So we get into the nature of the problem, the tension of the problem, the suffering of the problem, and then we try to solve it from that place. And what oftentimes happens, especially in the case of relationships, is that we just create more tensions. For example, if you get into a fight with somebody else and you're angry, you're starting with this anger. Usually what it ends with is more anger, right? So it's a lot better to take a moment, take a step back, and to cultivate a sense of understanding, of empathy perhaps for the other person, and then launch into the resolution process. The same thing goes for the internal. If we're starting, for example, a physical or mental transformation journey where we really want to change our lives, and we're all stuck in this self-hatred mode, when we start to do things, we're going to struggle a lot more. We're going to force things. And most likely, even if we get somewhere, it's going to be really hard to sustain our effort. It's going to be hard to find a place where we're happy with ourselves. One of the things that has happened in the modern world is that not only have we seen all of these images on TV that tell us that we need to have this to be happy, we need to look this way to be happy, we need to be accepted, and we need to show up in society a certain way to have a happy life. But we're also taught that we should eat certain types of foods to be happy. We see all these marketing images like, ooh, this is going to taste so good. You see the beautiful pizza on TV. You see these chips that are super crunchy, all these yummy things. What happens is food becomes a distraction for us. It tends to be something that kind of numbs out our sense of dissatisfaction with ourselves. And then we get into these habits where we get really distracted eating these foods that were designed to keep us eating them. They weren't designed to feed our 5 elements. They weren't designed to make us happy. They were designed to make us eat more and to keep food companies making money. Then what do? We end up going to doctors to cure us with medicines that weren't really designed to treat the root cause. They were designed to make us feel immediately better. So on one hand, we have foods that make us feel immediately satisfied in the moment, and then we go off and we get drugs and pharmaceutical things that make us feel immediately better in the moment, and we're never dealing with the root. The root of eating is to feed ourselves and to love our body and our mind with our food. It's not about instant gratification. It's about the long-term feeling that food brings us. And I can tell you, I cannot believe how much vitality I started to feel when I started to eat the right amount of fiber, the right amount of healthy fats, the right amount of proteins, so that my body was thriving. Not only that, but eating in a way that was aligned with time and natural cycles according to circadian rhythm. When you start to do all these things and you keep it consistent, it can be really hard to adjust. It can be really hard to change. It's a challenge. But when you bring love to yourself into the picture and you start to apply all of that, what happens is it's all about over time how you feel, not how you feel right in that moment. Of course, you can make delicious dishes, simple recipes with amazing, healthy, whole food. It just takes a little time to get used to eating all of those things. When we start to eat all of the right amounts of food, the right portion of food, the right kinds of food at the right times, it can be challenging. But what happens over time is our mind, our brain, our body, our energy starts to thrive. It's a continuum of energy in our body and our mind we tap into, this vitality that is much, much more fulfilling than a tasty bite of something that may or may not be so great for us. This is why when we shift and we change the narrative that, oh, I'm eating this because I'm not so happy and I want to have a moment of distraction and just kind of tune out and nosh on these chips while I watch TV. I'm going to sit down and eat this incredibly beautiful rainbow dish of produce and protein and healthy fats and make it taste yummy. And I'm going to feed my inner dimension with this and love my body with this. And I'm going to thrive from this vitality. I'm going to heal myself with this. It's incredible what starts to happen because we become unstoppable. Nobody can take away your self-love, your self-compassion. Self-compassion, taking care of oneself and learning that this is the most important thing, is something that no one can take away from you because it's internal. It's yours until the day that you go to rest.